despite the soft weather, so we've got a great day. The Celtics won by 20. The market jumped 420 points. And we've got a new advocate in heaven on our side. We're all gathered here to pay tribute to our dear departed Aunt Flo, who was a very special and sweet person. My sister-in-law, Peggy, described her as a family treasure. I think that really is true. She lived a long, generally very happy life, and she gave us many, many fond remembrances. I'd like to recount some of those now. She loved nothing better, really, than to be surrounded by the people that she loved, and I'm sure she's looking down today with great pleasure and pride at the gathering here. Allow me to count for you some of the things and memories that made her special in our eyes. Born in 1909, she was almost exactly 2 years older than her sister, Marion, my mother, and this phenomenon repeated itself in our own family, with my daughter Lucy and Catherine being born almost exactly 2 years apart. She very vividly described the memories of her youth. She often recounted to me how vividly she remembered different landmarks and how she remembered kids diving into the Erie Canal. It was before the days of the Department of Environmental Conservation, obviously. She remembers taking trolley cars all over the city at a young age to visit her many relatives. Florence was overshadowed by her two sisters. Her older sister, Ruth, who was a high school graduate at 15, and went into the St. Joseph's order shortly thereafter. And her younger sister, Marion, who was the social butterfly and much more dominant of the two, she developed a lifelong love of music and dancing and adored big dance and the movie stars of the 1930s. As a matter of fact, she actually still enjoyed a twirl every once in a while. One of the aides from James Square, where she just was recently, told me about 3 weeks ago. They picked her up and she said, "Oh, you want to dance with me, honey?" But she remembered many lyrics, and constantly she had a song in her heart. After she started working at various clerical jobs here in the city, she met and fell for a strong young Central Tech student by the name of Lynn Hudson, affectionately known as Bump Hudson, because the knots and welts on his head from lacrosse sticks raised so many bumps. He went on to play for a team and tried out to represent the United States in the Olympics in that sport, and later he was a Syracuse University scholarship player in lacrosse in the sport's infancy. Speaking for my brothers and sisters, I can say that from our earliest memories of Aunt Flo, she was very involved in our family, and we considered her really our second mother. Mary remembers her fondly as she purchased her first nun's outfit. It's a shame she didn't stick with that one. But we didn't have a car, so Uncle Len and Aunt Flo gave us endless rides around the area and often took us to our little summer home on Oneida Lake, which we rented, not owned. As a result of her love for barbershop quartet music, she inspired Mary to join a group in Cape Cod, and she loves that to this day. Mary still remembers her great love of music, even from an early age. My brother-in-law, Dr. Barteller, who was a late but very welcome addition to the family, remembers her as the lady who almost single-handedly supported the Publishers Clearinghouse in their late stages. We had to get her away from that little habit. She probably dropped about 15 or 20 bucks a day on that little thing. Bart, unfortunately, didn't quite make the Wall of Fame on Aunt Flo's fridge. He was superseded by Mike Hart, who was one of her favorite little local football heroes. But I apologize for that part. And my brother Robert finally recalls how she used to take him down to Don Wager's Pharmacy on the corner of North Ave and James Street here and buy milkshakes at a very young age. As you can see, you know Bob, he still loves those to this day. What Aunt Flo didn't know was while his right hand was grasping the milkshake, his left hand was, sticking out trying to grab some goobers on the lower shelf. My brother and sister-in-law took took Mom and Aunt Flo on many trips in their later years, which they very much enjoyed. My sister Kathy, who unfortunately isn't here today, was what the psychologists call, for lack of a better term, thermonuclear handful. In her younger years. She was the one who held her breath until she passed out. And Aunt Flo was usually around to catch her from the stairs before she hurt herself too bad. Aunt Flo worked for the AMO Dental Lab in Syracuse and had Kathy and Mary run various errands, taking dentures to various dentists in the downtown area. And that really started her on her career because she became a dental hygienist because of that. And Aunt Flo actually even got her first job right out of high school with Dr. Damiano. Kathy also remembers how Aunt Flo used to squirrel her away her favorite raspberry and orange cream from Russell Stover's before anybody else could get to it. My memories of her were also very special. She brought me, I remember she told me many times how proud she was of me when she got me a little Easter suit and I stood ramrod straight while the guy fitted me for the suit. It was probably due to the laudanum my mother gave me before that. She used to have me over on Saturday mornings to empty her baskets and take the papers downstairs, and she paid me 25 cents a day. Those Shumway girls were tired of 2 coats of paint. But I would also, I'd like to mention my family, my immediate family. My lovely wife, Kim, she was responsible for moving them to, my mother and my aunt, for moving them to the house, which is 2 houses away from us, in their last years in 1997. And my mother died in December of 99. And while they were there, we went up, our kids went up, and Pim and I went up quite a lot, especially in 2003 when I retired. I was up there 20 hours a day probably. Pim provided them with many meals, and they loved her cooking and also her incomparable apple pies, and I thank you for that. My kids remember some very funny things also about Aunt Flo. Dan recalls how she used to find great humor in the Chris Farley SNL routine, how the Japanese game show with Mike Myers when he was Larry Templecon from Minnesota. Also, Lucy loved to rub her back, and she took great delight in that. And Lucy remembers how when she was really happy, when she was sitting in her little recliner, she used to pick her feet up and click her heels like Dorothy. Catherine always used to love to whisper in her bad ear and tell her the secrets that she couldn't tell anybody else. And Pete used to love to wow her with his arm strength. And unfortunately, both Peter and Catherine are not here now. But she was a great fan of theirs. And she was my greatest fan, really. I'll have to say that. She always gave me a laugh when nobody else would. When she came in with her new hairdo, I pulled out my best Rodney Dangerfield. I said, "Hey, Del, nice hairdo, you know? Must have been something before electricity." She didn't find it that offensive. Well, all in all, she was a great lady. She was invariably happy and affirming. Despite the pain that she went through, which was considerable, we could take a great lesson from her because of her decision to be happy and affirming, and gave us unfailing love. And I thank you for your attendance here, and I thank the Lord for providing us with her presence these 98 years. Thank you.